Hi everyone, this is Linda from LK Design and Creative Crafters Outlet, and the purpose of this video is to help teach you the step-by-step instructions on how to use Chalk Couture stencils and tools. If you received a purchase, if you purchased a kit at the American Fork Still Days, this will be a great video that will walk you through the beginning to the very end of how to do that project. Keep in mind that if you have any questions, you can always contact me at lkdesign.com, which is my website, and I would be glad to help you with that. We do at Chalk Couture, so everything that you are seeing here today is purchased. You can purchase it through Chalk Couture, and they have plenty of surfaces, stencils, tools, and chalk paint and ink, so you can do t-shirts and stuff on hand. So if you go to chalkcouture.com/lkdesign, you will be able to get into that website and see everything it has to offer. Keep in mind there are two programs. There is the Club Couture program, and that's where every month you get sent a stencil, paint, and a surface for $21.99, and you also get $20 designer bucks, so you can purchase anything you need on Chalk Couture. So technically, it's costing you $1.99 to join the club. But if you do join the club and it's under my name and you are local, you can come to my crafting studio once a month towards the end of the month, and we will do that project together. So we can get different ideals, we can help each other, so forth. If you're not local, because so far I have a few that aren't local, we will start doing it live. So that way, if you guys have any questions, you can ask questions and we can help you through that. And then at the end, you can see what everyone else created as well. And then the second program we have is called the Perks program. Not everyone wants to be a designer and try to get people underneath them to grow a group, but they would like the discounts. So if you know you're going to do a lot of Chalk Couture products, and you would like that discount, you would join the Perks program. That program's the same price, $21.99. You still get $20 in designer bucks, and you get 30% off of your product. The only thing I don't think is fair, that you guys get deals that us designers don't even get. So it's like, boy, maybe I should join the Perk program. But anyways, if you're interested in any of those programs, again, go to chalkcouture.com/lkdesign. So at this point, I'm going to flip the camera so you can look down at what I'm doing, and I can give you the step-by-step process. Hopefully this time will work and the internet won't drop on us. So here we go. We're going to try it again, okay, people? Ta-da! Maybe if I move no! Okay, let's try it again. See my mess? I'm getting ready for the Still Days. So I've got all these projects I'm going to do and packages I'm going to make. Oh, no. Okay, I hope you guys are still there. I'm having issues as always. Let's see. It looks a little crooked, so let's bring you over. Maybe like that. So I think you can get the whole board. Yeah. Okay. Just for the record, I am not a video photographer, however you want to call that. But we will get through this, I promise. So let me refresh my page here because I have to make sure my mic is working, because sometimes it doesn't want to work. So we're refreshing the page, and then this way I can listen. Work. Yep. Okay, so my microphone works. I see you guys Is it frozen again? I think it is. Come on. Is it frozen? Okay, so it's working. So it's not just me not knowing how to work a camera, but it's also the internet. The internet's being really finicky right now, and it keeps shutting on and off. So let's try to get through this. I might have to do a bunch of editing to get it so it's not such a mess, but we will get through this. Okay, so some of the tools that you're going to use is a good one is a linting cloth. You don't have to purchase one from Chalk Couture. You can use a t-shirt. You can use a kitchen towel. You could use anything, but the purpose of this is the stencils are sticky. And if you get it on a slick surface, they're hard to get off and you can stretch them or even ruin them. So when you first use a stencil for the first time, because you have up to 12 times to use a stencil, so you want to do it a lot. And then the more you use it, the less you'll have to do it. If you're on a wood surface, something that's not so slick, then you only have to do it a few times. So this is important. Okay, I use a X-Acto knife and scissors. And the way I take care of cutting them out, some people will take a stencil like this and they'll cut out and then have all these little squares that get lost. I don't like doing that. I like to keep all my stencils together. So what I do is I'll get the X-Acto knife and I'll run through it and not push too hard, but enough to get through the stencil, but keep the backing attached. And then that way I can pull it off. When I'm done using it, I can just place it right back on. So this way I keep all my stencils together and organized, and I'm not looking for a bunch of stencils. So that's how I cut my stencils. And the reason why you need scissors, sometimes you don't cut through all the way, and there's a little string, so you'll have to go in there and cut that little string. So you don't want to pull on it because that will ruin the stencils. Okay, Chalk Couture, they're paste. They come in little packets for like $3, which does go a long way. Actually, I'm going to open one I already opened. Or you can buy these tubes. I think it says 3 ounces. This is my favorite color, so I use it a lot. But this is what it looks like. This is a really pretty, matter of fact, I just sprayed in there last time I used it because I didn't want it to dry out. So let me go over here real quick. I'm going to get a stirring stick. So if you wet, like spray it with a mister. I use a mister like this. And then close the lid. They'll help keep it from drying out. And then next time you use it, it should be nice, creamy, and thick. I just love that color. I think it's so pretty. This one's called Eucalyptus. It's almost like a, eggshell blue. Everyone loved that country color. Well, Eucalyptus is, to me, the new country color, but it should be eggshell green. So I'm going to put the lid back on because this does dry really quick. So another thing I like to use, this isn't from Chalk Couture. I bought this from the dollar store, this nice little tray. The ink fits on here nicely. And then I have a place to put my dirty utensils, because you don't want to use them over and over again with different colors, because then they'll mess with your colors. And you also can purchase these squeegees that they have. These are the smallest ones that they have, which I do like them, but when I'm doing really small projects, I feel like they're too big, so I actually cut mine in half, which helps out a lot. And since we're doing smaller ones, I want a smaller one. Let's do it this way for each color. And then there are some bigger ones that it's just going to be a solid color. So I'm going to set these aside because I know eventually I'm going to need those. So we'll get these out of the way. And I need to turn down the music. So it does the thing where 1 minute it's quiet and then 1 minute it gets loud. Okay, so that's the paint. You always want a jar of water close hand because you have a paintbrush you can use just in case you miss something. These are wonderful. Chalk Couture provides them, but I also buy my own. You don't want to use the Mr. Clean ones because they have a chemical on it, but you can buy these really, really cheap online. They work just like a Mr. Clean, and they work great on the stencils without ruining them. So you always have that handy. And then wipes. I call myself the messy crafter. I am the messiest crafter you will probably ever see. So I'm constantly cleaning up. So I have these wipes so I can clean my hands. And sometimes the wipes come out, they're kind of dry. So when I open one, I'll actually pour some water in and then seal it up so they're a little bit more moist than just the regular package. So make sure you have these handy as well. And then of course, paper towels. And I will show you what we're going to use those for later. So this one of the surfaces that Chalk Couture offers are these little squares. And it's a really nice wood frame. I really like them. And you can do, I had my daughter, she made a bunch of ones like this that are herbs, and it has the herbs underneath the name. Let me go grab one real quick so you can see what I'm saying. There's mint and oregano. Okay, so she used the eucalyptus, and then she used a sparkling red. So it has the plant, and then it has the name underneath. So if you made a bunch of these with all the little herb stencils we have, and then hang it on a wall in like a collage, kind of maybe like this, you know, or something like that. It'll take up space, but it's not like you have just one little thing hanging. So you can make a collage and make some pretty nice, what is it called? Eye candy for your walls. So let's put these aside. They come in a 4-pack, and I have 3 4-packs here right now because I have 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have 12 stencils that I'm going to do. Most of them are going to go really, really quick. I'm just going to add 1 color to most of them, and then a couple of them I'm going to do 2 colors so you can see how quick and easy it can be. And then this way I can also teach you the paste and pull technique. I forgot one more thing. A heat gun. This is important to have to dry your stencil, or not your stencil, sorry, your surface. That way, if you're going to do 2 colors or you're going to overlay, you need to make sure it's dry. Yes, the chalk paint dries really quick, but sometimes it's not quick enough. So I love these little dryers. I also have blow dryers I use and whatnot. So you don't have to purchase from them, but their prices are very reasonable. So it's worth its value. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, as I started, we are going to cut all the stencils so they're ready to go. So I can just pull them up and go. And I'm going to clean them as we go so you can see the cleaning process. You want to clean them as soon as possible. They will stain. But if you get it off as soon as possible, then it won't be too bad. Remember, you can use, they say up to 12 times, but I've heard you can use it even more. I forgot what I was going to say. The stencils. We were on the stencils. Okay, I guess it'll come to me. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in order. So you can watch me go in order. I'm going to put this over here so I do not get paint on those. So we're going to do the first one. So we're going to lift and pull. So when you use the chalk Couture chalk paint, it dries really quick. So you need to get it on there and you need to get it pulled off before it dries, because if you pull it up and it's dry in the screen, it will stay in the screen until you clean it and it'll pull it off of here. So keep that in mind. Now I remember what I was going to tell you. I forgot already. I'm sure I'll remember. Okay, so we're going to put this on and we're going to try to get it as centered as possible. But you know, you could even, if you wanted to do it at an angle, you can even do it at an angle. You don't have to be centered, but we're going to center this one. Maybe I'll do an angle on another one. No, it's too far. I always say this is the hardest part of the whole project, is getting things centered. Okay, so you see how nicely that fits in there? So the edge is about the same. Okay, I remember now. So anything that's green, sometimes they're green stencils, sometimes they're blue. So anything that's green is not, the ink isn't going to go through it, or the paste. Anything that's white, that's the screen. The paste is going to go through that. So you want to make sure you've got it rubbed down pretty good around the white edges so it does not run. Bleed, actually. That's what I should say, is bleed. So I've got, there's some little something on here. I don't want it to get in the paint. So I think that's on there pretty good. Sometimes you can see and sometimes you can't. I usually don't go all the way to the edges pushing it down. So it's however you want to do it. So that's good. So I think I'm just going to go with the basic black because it's on a white background. I also have off-white, which I don't think is going to show very well. Actually, it's called vanilla. But I did want to do one just to see. So here we go. This is black velvet. And you don't need much. So you're going to put it on, and you don't have to push too hard. You just want it to get through that screen. I like to work away from the edges so I don't go past the green and get it on my surface. So I'm just going to put it all on there. One thing I did notice, like when you do put the ink on, let me get one on here, get it on here, and then I can show you better. Okay, so let's say, I don't know if you can see, but there's little lines where the paint builds up. You don't want that on there because if it's in any part of the screen, it will show. And what makes this last so long is, if you notice, I'm scraping the excess away and I am putting it back in the jar. So there's not much waste. Okay, I don't see any lines, so we're pretty good. I'm going to cover this. I know I'm going to use the black again, so I'm going to lay it. Bring this over here. I'm going to lay it on my tray and make sure no other color touches it. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. If you had tweezers or fingernails, it won't be so bad. And I'm going to lift it. I'm going to lift it slowly, so that way if I miss something, I can lay it back down and get it again. So there's one. And if I'm right, the camera's upside down, or is it backwards? I think it's backwards, not upside down. So there's this one. Okay, so you can do a quick clean. I have a sink in here, so I would go to the sink. Oh, there they are. But since I'm teaching you guys how to clean them, I am just going to use my wipes, get the majority of it off, clean the underneath there a little bit, get my little sponge, get the water out, and then you can see how it's getting it off the screen. Black's messy one, so be prepared. And I'm not trying to stretch it, I'm just kind of trying to scrub it so it does get off as much as possible. I'm going to clean the back of it now. So I'm going to put this in the water so it's a little bit cleaner. Now the back does have the sticky stuff on it, but this doesn't take it off, and it cleans in the screen so much better than it does on the front. Not sure why, but it does. So I'm going to go over it one more time to try to get the stain off. Most likely I'm not going to be able to, so I'm going to take my wipe, clean the surface here. I'm going to dip it in the water now, so that way it gets any hair or anything off it. This is where the paper towel comes in. You can either take it, I have little clips, and I'll take it and I'll hang it, so let it dry naturally. But let's say I want to use this again. I'll lay it down on the board, sticky side down, and I dry off the top pretty good. Dry off the bottom. Now this side is the sticky side. If I went slow, it's going to stick to this paper towel. So we're going to do a fast dry. You can see it's already sticking. It's already sticking. So now I can just take my sticker. I can put it right back where it belongs. And I have it for next time. Oops, a little crooked there. I want to make sure all the sticky stuff is covered. Come on. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see. Hopefully you can, but you can see how this one is stained and this one looks brand new. So this one is a cow one. And I'm going to do black again because it's a black and white cow. I mean, I could do like the wheat brown, and I could do the same in silver. It's just how much time you want to put into it. So right now, though, for these purposes, I'm going to do these ones as fast as I can. There is a couple. I'm going to add some color to it just so I can teach you the paste and pull technique. That looks straight to me. So we're going to push it down pretty hard. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, no. Oh, no. And I pushed down already. I didn't lint it, people. But you know what? It's on the wood. Huh. So if that was on glass or a mirror or something metal, oh, it would have been fun trying to get it off. That's another reason why I don't do the corners all the way. It helps, but then you'd have to pull really slowly so you don't stretch your stencil. Okay, so you want to get all the bubbles pushed out if there's any bubbles. And I did say black because I want a black and white cow. So let's clean this up just a little bit. Give us some space. I'm going to put the sponge back so we can use this again. Even though it's dry, the paste isn't on the inside. So let's work. Whoops, we don't want to go too far. So let's work inward. That way you don't have to worry about, again, going over the stencil. But if you do, it's okay. Nothing's perfect. And I have this saying, I don't practice ahead of time any of my projects because if I make a mistake, I want to be able to teach you guys how to fix it. So a lot of the projects I'm doing, I'm learning as I go, just like you will. The more you do it, the easier it's going to get. So make sure we get all the lines out. Any extra, put the lid on that. X-Acto knife. Come on. There we go. Okay, pull it slowly. Just make sure, oops. Make sure you didn't miss anything. And it looks good. It did bleed. I will show you where it bled. So right here, I didn't push down hard enough. And so the black bled into the sign. So, you know, those things happen. And I also missed part of this star right here, which that's when a paintbrush can come in and fix that. So it still looks good, I think. So I'm not going to clean this right now due to time, but what I am going to do is I'm going to set it over here and I'm going to spray it. So that way it doesn't dry, and then when I have time, I can go clean it. So this one says, make sure, oh, got it. It says farm fresh eggs. If I had, which I don't, I just thought we could have used the eggshell blue. Is that straight? No, it's crooked. Which would have been pretty, but I'm going to do it all with my eucalyptus. So it's going to be black eucalyptus, and I am going to try a vanilla. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to show you how we can fix that. So just try to get it straight as possible. Okay, so let's remember to not rush too much in regards to this, but we want to get everything down pretty good. And I didn't felt this one either. Well, you know what? Let's see how it comes out. Because it, like I said, it is on the wood, and if I pull slow enough, maybe I won't stretch it. We shall find out. So on this one, I'm going to do the farm fresh eggs first with the eucalyptus. And then I'm going to go over the chicken in the vanilla just to see. And then if it's too light on the white, I will dry it and then go over it with another color. Should I do the eggs? Yeah, let's do the eggs vanilla, see what happens. Okay, so this is what I mean by paste and pill. So I'm putting this on my tray. Okay, so this is where I take the blow dryer or the heat gun, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to leave as much as the egg and the chicken attached so it doesn't mess up when I pull it away. So you're going to take the blow dryer and we're going to blow it dry. That way it doesn't smear and it doesn't dry in the screen. And so if it's dried in the screen, I pulled it up, it will take it off with it. And it came up pretty good. So I think with the wood, it's not as much as a big deal, but I do notice, I'll show you in a minute. I do notice that because I didn't lint it, right here and right here, these two little white dots. These dots are actually the white paint. It pulled up the white paint because it was too sticky. So that's another reason why. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over the chicken and the egg just to make sure that they're down good. I don't have to worry about the fresh farms though. So let's see how this is going to work. And if it doesn't work, it's an easy fix. Easy fix. Oh, sorry, this is a new paint. I haven't opened. And you always get a lot of paint on the little covering there. So I like to use that first, and then later on I will scrape it off and put it in the jar. So again, no waste. So now I'm doing the eggs and the chicken, doing my best to stay away from the eucalyptus. This one's a really creamy one. It's really fresh, so it hasn't had time to get a little bit harder. So those, you have to make sure your stencil's down really good so it doesn't bleed. And I want to get all the lines out, especially on the chicken. I don't want any lines in the chicken. Okay, so this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly press the top down that I already did, because I want to make sure this off-white works. Okay, so you can barely see it, barely, but you can see it. But I want to be able to see it from far back. So I'm going to dab this on with my finger real quick. And I'm hoping that it hasn't dried enough. So let's find out. I'm going to use the eggshell. The eucalyptus. I should have got the eggshell. I'm just going to go over it real quick. Yes, the colors are mixing together, so it did make a lighter eucalyptus, but that might give me the look I'm looking for. We shall see. But it also might pull up the paint. So, let's see. Oh, nope. And it actually looks pretty good, because it almost looks like the eggshell, the blue eggshell paint. So that was a good experiment. So I am going to take this now. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to spray it. And when I spray that one, I'm spraying the black one. Now, this is what I mean. So now I have this eucalyptus blue, eucalyptus green, and then I mixed it with the vanilla. So it contaminated the color. So I'm just going to take my wipe and I'm just going to clean it off. And now I can use it again in the eucalyptus green. Okay, so there's that one. Now, this one just says FARM with some arrows. So I'm just going to do this one in black. I think as a grouping, most of them are black with a little every one or two colored. I think it will look good in a grouping, but we will find out. So let's do this real quick. And I am rushing. Oh. I don't know why I can't remember to lint my stencils. I think just because it's just an extra step that I don't want to do. I just want to get to painting. Okay, so we got it on there. And as you scrape off, you want to look at the white, where the white was, just to make sure there's no white showing through and you got everything. Okay, and it's just even pressure, even pressure. Just remember, even pressure, not hard. Enough to get it through the screen, but not enough to make it bleed. Okay, and I see a little bleed. You probably won't be able to see it around the edges of the M. It kind of came out a little bit, but I still think it looks good. So now I'm going to spray that one and then the other two. Your goal is just to keep them wet as much as possible. Okay, I don't know what to do with this one. Well, I guess we'll do black again, because it's like, we'll do it in fours. There we go. We're going to do black again because it's more like a silhouette. Most silhouettes are all black. This one is a cow with a pig and a chicken on top of each other. So there's that one. So we'll do again this one in black. You can see how fast these little ones are going. I think the most work will be in cleaning up your stencils, which you definitely want to make sure you clean them good. But I would like to get through all of these so you guys can see the end result. And I figure if I do this many, you will be able to remember the technique as well. And then you don't have to keep rewinding the video. It's like, what's the next step? Okay, so this one, I do have purposely left some lines because I want to see if you can see. Oh, you can. Perfect. So let's put this over here. We're going to get it wet. There we go. So I'm going to move this around and hopefully you can see how there's a line left in the cow and the pig. That's what happens when you don't scrape it off all the way. Now I got fingerprints. So couldn't get rid of that line, which is fine. It still looks okay. I'm still good with that. So there's that one. I'm going to have room here, people. Okay. Let's just put it on top of there. And then I'll lay them out afterwards. Okay, so this one is really cute. So this one, I'm going to do eucalyptus for the leaves and farm to the table in the black. There we go. Sorry, we want to get it down pretty good so it doesn't bleed. And I think I'm going to do farm to the table first, dry it, and then put it back down and do the eucalyptus. Oh yeah, we're doing that first. Duh. Okay, so because these are smaller, which I like them smaller and I cut them, it's easier to do a smaller project like this. We have really big squeegees, so when there's bigger projects, you're not sitting here going forever because, again, you got to be quick. And I did get some black on the white part of the leaf, but once I dry it and cover up with the eucalyptus, you probably won't even see it, even though it's black. Okay, I'm going to get the lines out this time. Sometimes you have to clean the paint off. There we go. Okay, the lines are, oh, I see a little white in the corner of the F. Okay, so there we go there. Let's pull it up. So this is one that is a paste and pill. Okay, so the top of the A, I don't know if it's, oh, it's the stencil. I thought maybe I missed it. So let's dry it real quick. It did bleed on the T, but then again, no, but that's, oh, so look, I accidentally pulled it off. Now when you accidentally pull it off like this, it makes it harder to line up, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem because it's not a really heavy, detailed design. So there's a few ways you can tell if something's dry. You can lightly tap it, or if you watch it as you're drying it, it will actually become a darker color than when it's wet. Or a lighter color, it depends on the color. Okay, so I'm going to lightly tap that down, but I want the leaves to be down really good. No bubbles, no bleeding. So make sure those are down pretty good. Okay, and there was black on my finger, so I know you won't be able to see this, but there's black that went into the screen of the leaves. So let's cover up the black. We're going to come back to the eucalyptus. We're going to do some red too, so hold tight. I'm going to use the clean one, and we're just staying away from the letters and just doing the leaves. And I'm trying, instead of working outward in, I'm working inward out. So you have to be really careful to make sure you don't go past the green, but I don't want to get this in the lettering. So it helps me to be more precise. And again, get the lines out. So it helps if you clean your stencil. Or not your stencil, clean your squeegee. Okay, so we're going to put that down. Put the lid back on. I'm going to pull it up. Look as I pull to see if I missed anything. Yada, yada, yada. And I did it. Okay, so we're putting that stencil down. We're getting it wet in the others. So there's that one. That one came out really cute. Oh! And I touched it with my thumb, but I didn't smear it. Sometimes I'm good. Okay. So this one says Farm Sweet Farm. And I am going, again, just to do it all black, make it simple. We just want splashes of color here and there, not like every other one. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's do this one crooked. See something different. I think that's a little too crooked. We just want it crooked a little bit, not so drastic. Okay, so we're going to do that one like that. A little crooked. Just to give it a different look. Okay, so we're doing the black. You could also, if you wanted to add some gray, do a few in gray, but what I'm trying to create, I think it needs the black, especially if I'm going to be putting some red in it. So, okay, so I got it on there. Clean your squeegee, scrape, clean. That way you're not wasting. And we got rid of the lines. Okay, pull it up slowly. Look, I haven't lint it since, and it seems to be okay. So it did run, but a little bit. That's what makes it so fun. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see, but it's by the A. Just a little tiny bit. Again, not worried, not looking for perfections. Okay, spray these again. You just want to keep them wet. Okay, this is the one I'm going to use red in. So this one says Farm Life, and it has a barn. So let's put that in. Pretty good. So I'm going to do the black. No, let's do the barn first. That way I can do the black and just pull the whole thing up instead of trying to pull only a little bit up. Okay, so I've got some nice paint here on the lid. So I'm going to work off the lid. Just like that. Clean it so you don't have any lines. Ta-da. No lines. Nice and red. So let's lay that on the tray. Close that. Look out, kitty. Look out. Look out. Hold on 1 second. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So let's pull this up. Oh, that looks so cute. Okay. So we're going to dry. It did bleed again. Another one I didn't push down hard enough, but hey, I'm the only one that's going to notice it. Yeah. I didn't hold it down on the bottom with my finger, so of course it pulled it right up. So let me go over that step that I keep messing, and maybe I'll remember myself. So try to line it up the best you can. There we go. Okay, so what I need to remember to do is I need to hold this down with my thumb. Pull the stencil up and hold it out of the way like that, and then blow dry. I need to make sure to keep my thumb on the bottom so that way I don't pull it off. So I'm just going to go and do the letters. So the F, R, M, L, I, F, E. Try to get those down pretty good. So put the red over here, and now I'm going to do black. So I'm going to do life really quick at the bottom. Missed a corner there. I can still see white. And if you were using a black surface, you'd be using white paint. So then you'd say, I can still see black. So you just want to make sure you can tell. Okay, so I'm doing the R and the M. Don't want to get too close to the barn. And then the F. Need a little more paint. Come on. It doesn't want to go in. There we go. Okay, so let's clean it off and get rid of some lines. I think that looks good. We'll find out, won't we? Okay, so peel it again a little slowly so you can make sure everything went through, and it did. Yay, yay, yay. Now, isn't that cute? That's adorable. So we got 2 greens and we got 1 red. So I'm thinking just to throw a curveball in this, I'm going to do the letters in red and the little metal wheel in a gray color. Ow. I burned my finger. Okay. I hope that's cute. I hope it's not too much red, but we shall find out. Or maybe I should do blue. No, let's just do red. I keep saying blue, but it's green. Okay. So this time I'm going to do the lettering first. And the reason why I chose that is because the design isn't like kind of in the middle too much. So it's easy to work around. And I am getting lines like crazy. Okay, so let's do the H. I think the hard part is going to be this little M here because the metal sign goes into the M. So if I can be fast enough, I have a trick for that, and hopefully it won't dry. So we're going to get as much as the M. Oh, I got it on the middle, which is okay. Much as the M that's not connected with the little fan blade. Get the lines off. Put the excess paint back. And I've got my little handy dandy brush. So I'm going to take a paintbrush. Sometimes it's hard to work with a paintbrush because you really can't put pressure, but what you can do is like dab it. If you dab it, that kind of pushes it into the screen. And you don't have to worry about the pressure. Okay. So I got the red on there. Let's close the lid. Remember to put your finger at the bottom here, like where this the little windmill thingy is, before you let go. Okay. So I'm going to pull it all the way off because there's not enough space. So I will line it up. Let's dry it though. I noticed where I used the paintbrush, it bled a lot. Why do you think it bled a lot? Any suggestions? It bled a lot because I had it in the water and I didn't dry it enough before I put it in the paint. So it bled. See? So we're going to try to fix that later. I don't know if it's possible. But there was bleeding on this one. Okay, so I'm going to try to line up. And I'm lining it up with the H. And I'm lining it up with the M. And so I'm pushing. And then where there is paint, the red, I'm just tapping. And then I can push and I can tap. Okay. So this, I'm using this color is called Storm. It's kind of a gray tone. So I'm going to use that. I have a new squeegee and I'm working outwards to inwards. Get that on there. I'm going to come down the middle. And then I'm not going to go, I'm getting close to the letter M, but there is some blades, like I said, that cross over. So those ones, I don't think I can get the squeegee in there without messing it up. So let's try a little corner here. Well, that worked for that one. So I'm going to use just the corner in as much as I can. Trying not to touch the red. And then I'm going to let's get some of this off there. I'm taking a chance. Okay. So I'm just using the corner. Ooh, barely hit it. So hopefully this will look good. So I'm just going over it with the corner, making sure there's no white showing. And if there is, I'll use a dry paintbrush. So let's pull it up and see how that looks. Oh, that looks cute. Okay, so there's not too much to fix. That one turned out really cute. So there's some red there. Look, we got 3 more people and we're done. Not sure how long I've been doing this. I think I'm going to mix it up. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because I can mix it up, laying it down. Okay, so we have this one says, welcome to the farm. And it has another windmill type thing. So I think what I'm going to do is just do the lettering and everything black. I'm going to do the windmill gray. And I'm going to do the windmill first because it is in the center and they'll give me more to hold down when I dry it. So let's get the Storm out. This should be a little easier than the last one. It's a little bigger. One thing you might notice is that your paint, as you put it on and pull, it'll gather way up here. So if you just lay it flat and pull it like that, you'll get it off and you won't have to go dip again. So, which is no big deal, but just makes it easier for me. But everyone crafts different. So there is some I miss right there. So I'm going to go back to the corner and make sure there's a fine line there. Whoops, I missed some. Okay. So oh, no, missed some there. Let's get that covered because I don't want it black. Boy, I'm just not getting close enough. Okay, I don't see any whites. I do see lines though. So I'm going to go opposite directions of the lines, get those out. Again, put your lid on. You don't want stuff to dry out. This went in the water. So if I was to use this to pull up, the water could drip on the stencil, causing it to bleed. Looks pretty good. Oops, put my thumb down. Almost did it again. So the thicker the paint is, the longer it takes to dry. So if you're looking at a design that you worked on and all of it got lighter except for one section, that just means it's not dry. Oh, you can't rub that fast on wood. Okay, so I think I got that down. We're back to the black. Now my black is building up. And I know I only got a couple more, but I don't want that to mess it up. So we're going to take some of it off. That way no chunks or dryness gets in. So it's not perfectly clean, but it got the chunks out of there. Okay, another thing you got to keep in mind, I mean, my hands are covered in black and red, and if you're not careful and you go to touch your surface and you've got these colors on your hand, you might smear your surface. So try to keep an eye on that. Okay, black. I'm doing the welcome first. And if you notice you want a consistency like sour cream. So if you notice your chalk thicker, then again, just add a little bit of water and mix it up. Ooh, I went past the green. So I got some black on the bottom. Oop, did it again. This is what happens when you go too fast. So that will definitely be another cleanup. Maybe we'll clean them up at the end so I can show you how I clean things up. Okay, so this one, I want to get a fine line right underneath that metal fan blade. So I have to go slow because it is so close to that metal fan blade. Okay, take off the excess. And you know what? I didn't spray the red. Darn it. That's really going to stain. Okay, let's see. It's the best part. Ooh, 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 ooh. Doesn't look bad. Got a few touch-ups to do. Just a few. But there's that one. And let's make sure to spray it this time so it's easier to clean. See, if I wasn't recording, I would clean each one before I went on. But since I'm recording, and I know you guys don't want to sit here forever watching me clean stuff, so I'm being nice. Should I get fancy with this one too? Do some black and do some gray. Or should I just do it all black? Let's just do it all black because we haven't done an all black one in a bit. Okay. So this one will be all black. Do, 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 do. Just get it on there. Again, remember you can push down and get some ink off of the top where it build up. And scrape. So you can put the excess back. That's why these jars last a very long time. Unless you overuse one like I do with the eucalyptus. That's why I bought extra. Okay. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Ready for the reveal? Okay, here we go. Oh, that turned out pretty good. Does have some runs. So I'm thinking it's the wood grain. But it's rustic, so I'm okay with that. So this is the last one. This one says home. So I'm going to do black and then, of course, the eucalyptus. And then that way there is, it's not like it's all black and white. There is some nice detail to it. Okay, so this one I'm not going to paste and pill and dry because they're small enough and big enough, I can probably do it fast enough. So let's find out. And then if I can't do it fast enough, then I can show you how to fix that. So, home, home, home is where the heart is, right? Drag. Get pretty close to those leaves, but we don't want any white. So I need some more, and it's built up pretty good right there, so I'm just going to still it from there. Okay. We're going to try to get all the lines out this time. See how lucky we are. Okay, clean that off. Hurry, Linda, hurry! Okay. Sorry, I get a little silly sometimes. And here's the eucalyptus. Some white. Cover that up. And we're going to come down. Okay, take off the excess. You want to be careful when you take off the excess next to another color because you don't want to get any black on that because you mix even a little bit of color in and it will eventually change the color, original color. So that was pretty fast. And it looks great. It looks great. So let me spray these real quick again. So there we go. I think that one looks pretty good. So we're going to move this over and we're going to see if I was to put this on a wall, definitely have some gaps in it. So they're not too close. But I want you to see, so we might have to make the gaps a little bit smaller. We'll do it that way. Ta-da! Maybe 2. Yeah, let's do 2. Okay, we'll do 2 there. And then, oh, it's going to get wet. 2 there. And then we'll do 2 and 2 again. Do I want it straight? Yeah, let's just do it straight for now. 2, 2, 2. So by doing these little ones, it takes up the space as like one solid frame. But it looks to me It looks really good. I love how it has the red, and then a little splash of blue, blue, and blue. It looks like I froze again though. Let me see if it gets caught up. Let me refresh. Let me refresh here just to make sure, because I don't want to stop it. Oh, we're like way behind. My computer froze a long time ago. So I'm hoping that you guys were able to follow me all the way through and you can see everything. Maybe you don't like how they're organized and you think, oh, well, those are next to each other, those are far away from each other. You know, you can arrange this any way you want. And it still will look really farm fresh. If you don't like the wood frames, but you like the white, well then chalk them. Get the Waverly chalk paint, which works really good. I wouldn't waste this paint to paint a surface, but I would do the Waverly paint to paint a surface. Don't use Waverly paint on these stencils because let me tell you, I tried it and it is so hard to clean out. I'm going to take the lid off of that one. So you really want to stick with this Chalk Couture paint. So after this, I'm going to go to my sink. I'm going to clean all of these. I'm going to let them dry and I'm going to put them back on my surface. So if you notice, I cut through on the paper. So on the back, okay, so on the paper, keep in mind, one side is really shiny and slick and the other side is just like regular paper. You don't want to put the stencils on the regular paper. You want it on the slick side. So I did cut too deep, but you just get some tape. Just tape up the back. I'll probably go all the way down because I cut this one too deep too. And then it will keep it all in one place. And the way I store these is I get one of those clear sleeves. And I put it in the clear sleeves. It fits perfectly in there. And then I put them in a binder. The bigger ones I hang on the wall. So this is the step-by-step of doing the Chalk Couture. Now, if you bought a bigger surface, if you bought, I don't know, I'm trying to remember all the surfaces. We have so many different surfaces. So if you bought something that was a little bit bigger that weren't these small and the bigger surface, it's the same process, okay? If you're using different colors, you want to do the peel and dry. If you're using one color, you just want to go really fast. Be careful not to go over the edges. But it's the same process. It's just a different surface. So if you want to take a minute, I want to fix at least one of these. So, okay, so this has a lot of black on here, on this bottom right here. So I'm going to get it wet just a little bit. Actually, I should have left it dry. Oh, look, I smeared it. See, I told you, I'm not a perfect crafter. So I'm going to let that one dry real quick. Let's find another one I can fix. Okay, right here in the house, there's a little bit of red where it should be white. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to scrape it a little bit. Just scrape it off the white and it's all gone. It's that simple. Let me see if I find another one. Well, that one bled because of the wood grain. There was one, where'd it go? Oh, the leaf, or the side of this sign. So now that it's dry, I'm just going to scrape it a little bit, which will help the white. I'm not going to do it too hard. You know, even if it's still a little bit gray, I'm okay with that. But it's not like a solid black. So that helped a little bit. It's still a little bit of gray. If that bugs you, then you get your white chalk paint and you fix that. So this M that bled because my paintbrush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush, make sure it's dry, or if you're unsure, you can go get a dry one. And I'm just going to get a little bit of paint. We don't need a whole lot. And then I am just going to go over where it is lighter because the water made it a lighter color. So just do a little bit of hand painting. But it's on something like this, you want to just do a little at a time. Little at a time is so much better than trying to clean up too much. And that W, this one looks funny. So we'll fix that. I hope you can see. I don't know if you can see. I don't know where we're at. But anyways, it made it darker. It did run in a lot of places. And I just think it's the texture of the wood this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape the part that bled. And then I am going to get a new paintbrush and I am going to go over it with the white chalk. So it won't be so noticeable. But I'm just going to go over where it bled. I'm not going to make a whole line or anything because I don't want it to be that noticeable. But all in all, it still looks good. So there's a couple of them I'd like to do that with, like this one. This one ran down the little wood grain. So I'm going to clean that out. And then I will just do a tiny bit. This one seems to run a lot in the wood grain. If stuff like this bugs you, it doesn't bug me, but there is a wax that you can put on your surface that they sell. And what that wax will do is it will fill in that wood grain. And then it won't run. It won't follow the lines of the wood grain. So if if that really bugs you, that is something you can do. Okay, so remember where I smeared it? So I'm just gonna quickly go over it. I shouldn't have got it wet. I should have just sat here and scraped it off. But because of that, I got it wet. It smeared it. So that's definitely one I will go over with chalk paint. But, so those are some of the techniques. If you wanted to overlap, like let's say you did Home Sweet Home and you want to put something in here, but the stencil is going to touch the chalk you already did and you don't want it to pull off, you're going to use the wax. So after this is on, you'll wax this. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. You're just going to wax it. Then you're going to put the stencil on. Then you're going to do the other one. And that way, when you pull it up, where you waxed and there was paint, it's going to stay. It's not going to get pulled up. So, there is really good benefits to having that wax. And of course, you can get that on my site. So let's say you don't want the gaps and you just want it to look like a frame. There you go. You can do that as well. There's lots of different things that you can do to hang these to make them look really cute. So that's it. These are the step-by-steps and directions. You also have a written step-by-step you will be able to find, and then that is where you'll find the link to this video tutorial. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your support, and I hope I get to see you soon. You guys have a good day.